Hey everyone, Connie here with an interesting video today. An interesting countdown. This is my top 10, or top 15 rather, unconventional characters I'm attracted to. So it's exactly as it sounds, but at the same time, I feel like I need to explain as well. So, in various anime, cartoons, games, etc., there are characters who, yeah, everyone agrees is attractive. Everyone thinks it's like, oh yeah, this character's hot. And they get all this attention, all this fan art and stuff. But there's also characters in these same shows, games, etc., who are not often viewed that way. Who either are overshadowed by other characters in their respective media, or are not viewed as typically attractive, or something like that. And those are the characters I'm talking about today. Characters who, in their various media, are not viewed as the attractive ones, or are just not viewed as being as attractive as other characters, and therefore are often ignored in that kind of discussion. Um, and I will be counting down my top 15 because I couldn't cut it down to just 10. I didn't. There were certain ones in the top 15 I didn't want to leave out. Let's just put it that way. Um, so yeah, this will be just my personal list of 15 characters who are not often viewed as the attractive ones in their media for whatever reason. I'll explain why they're not, and I will explain why I find them attractive to the best of my abilities. Although that's pretty hard to do. And yeah, just on that information alone, you can tell that we are going to be talking about these. This is not going to be redirected. It's not going to be a list of clips and everything. We're actually going to be discussing these ones. Um, Partially because I just don't want to have to find all the clips for this one. And also partially because I do want to actually talk about this. Even if there's not going to be a lot I can say on why I find them attractive, I do want to discuss this at least a little bit, as much as I can. So let's just get on with the list. There's no real rules to it. It's just as long as they're a character in some piece of media and aren't usually seen as the attractive character of that piece of media. So this first one, I don't ever think I've seen ever like called unattractive, and I've seen a couple people say that they're attractive, but usually other characters are always brought up first, and this character is often more referred to with words such as creepy or even scary straight up. So, number 15 is Neferpito from Hunter x Hunter. Pito, I think, is really, really attractive. I think that they are genuinely cute. And it's not just because of the cat thing. Although cat girls and cat boys and all are definitely cute. I just like their look. I think they have a really cute facial features. I think their overall personality and just physical way of acting and everything is really adorable. And yeah, I think they're genuinely attractive. I think that they are pretty cute. But yeah, they're not really often viewed in Hunter x Hunter as being the attractive ones. Like people will look at like Shizuku from the Phantom Troop more often, or a few different characters from the Phantom Troop, honestly, but not usually characters like Pito. It's just it's not super common. I almost never see anyone talking about Pito, but I have seen a couple people say that they're cute, so that's why it's at the bottom of the list because there is even if it's very little, there is something there. Number 14 is Speed from One Piece. And this one, I have not heard pretty much anyone call her attractive. In fact, a lot of people just take their time to laugh at her expressions and stuff, her horse like expressions. Um, I think she's fucking adorable. Like I think I mentioned this in the reactions when she was in there too. I think she's really fucking cute. Like I like the expressions. I don't think they're just goofy and everything. I think they're actually really funny and cute. And it's not even because of her physical bodily attractiveness. It's really has nothing to do with that. It's a lot in the face and just the personality. I think she's just really attractive, really funny, really cute, really silly, but in a really likable way. I've always thought Speed just did not get enough attention. Like in One Piece, there's so many characters who are given a lot of attention for being attractive. Nami and Robin, obviously, being the big ones. But it's like Speed just I never saw anything for her. In fact, I feel like people barely even talk about her at all, and it's a little sad. Um, but moving on, we go to number 13, Charlotte Amand, another One Piece one. Charlotte Amand is another one that I just never have seen people talking about. Um, Again, with all of the other characters in One Piece who are often viewed as attractive, Charlotte Amand is not one of them. This is another thing I mentioned in the reactions, very much find her attractive. She is just super fucking pretty. Like, she has this, like, how do I describe it? This sort of grandeur prettiness. She feels very, like, this old timey, fancy, like, almost rich girl. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know. I guess like Arena Pendleton from JoJo. Like just this like old fashioned, like very pretty rich girl kind of vibes. Except Arena was never really that fancy. And Charlotte Amand definitely is more of the fancy side of that. Um, like you'd see her at like a ball and everything with a fancy ass dress and everything. She just kind of has those vibes to me. The long neck thing doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I think it works really well. Oda balanced it out extremely well with the tattoo, the heart tattoos, and the choker. I think it really works just as a design, along with her long, like teal hair and the dress and everything and the giant hats. It's like she's just really fucking pretty. But we move on to number 12, Salem from Ruby. So there's a lot of characters in Ruby that people simp over. Yang is a big one for fair reasons. But Salem, I don't, I don't very often see people actually noting how attractive she is. In fact, there's been points where I've noted how attractive she is, and people have actually said, "Ew, you're that's creepy, dude. She's creepy." And it's like, what? And it's just it's weird to me. It's weird because yeah, she has the like pure white skin with the veins and everything all over it, the black eyes with the red irises, but it's like she's fucking hot. Like look at her. It's not again, it's not the boobs. It's just the entire look. Um, I've never been like huge into the entire um dominant mommy type character, like Lady Dumitresque from Resident Evil Village. Like a lot of people are really into that archetype. I've never been huge into it. But there are certain characters who exude that kind of energy that really do get me. And Salem is one of them. She just has that kind of energy to her and always feels like just everything she does, every movement she makes, every like even facial expression and slight bodily expression she does just feels really seductive to me. And it's just I'm very attracted to it. Um she's just she's just drop dead gorgeous to me. And I'm not afraid to say it. And I wish more people would see that too. So now we go to number 11, Otsuru, also from One Piece. There's quite a few One Piece ones on here. Um, because there's quite a few characters in One Piece who aren't super conventionally attractive. And unfortunately, because of it, don't get as much attention as the ones who are. And Otsuru is one of them. The wife of Kinemon. She is really fucking pretty. Just like Charlotte Amand, it's more of a like regal prettiness. Um, with the Wano classic Japanese style that a lot of the arc tends to focus on with character design. She just has this like gorgeous prettiness to her, where it's just like she seems so like so what's the phrase? So out of your league. It's like she almost comes across as someone of high stature because of just how just goddamn pretty she looks. um and again, she's another one who I just never see people talking about. Like whenever people talk about like pretty or hot or attractive characters in One Piece, they never talk about Utsuru. I know she's a newer character, semi newer. Wano's been going on technically in the manga for quite a bit, but even so, it's like I've seen plenty of people talking about this kind of thing after the fact, and it's just I really wish she was included in this discourse because she definitely deserves it. In my eyes, she's just really, really pretty. And now the top 10. So yeah, there were some in these last few that I didn't want to cut, and I'm glad I didn't. But now we get into the real big ones for me, the top 10. With number 10, Envy from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I specifically say Brotherhood because it was what I took the series in with, uh, for the most part. I have seen the original Full Metal Alchemist, and I haven't read the manga, but I've seen a couple like a couple shots of it. But Brotherhood is my main source for Full Metal Alchemist. um, that being said, Envy is really fucking hot. Like, again, another example of a character who, just in their respective media, is not often viewed that way. Like, people will view Envy for their insanity, for their evilness, and stuff like that. For their personality, which is definitely winning. But no one ever really talks about how attractive they are. Like, maybe it's just a type for me, but I very much am very attracted to their type here. Um, they are just really, really hot. Like look at them. The muscle structure, um, the expression on the face that's pretty much always there, combined with the specific shape of the hair and whatnot, and of course just the way that they tend to emote with face and body. I just find them really fucking hot. Like it's as simple as that. Um, Number 9 is Nasu Suketaka Yoichi from Drifters. This one is an unconventional one because the show is very much not mainstream. Um, a lot of people don't even know about Drifters. The show didn't do as well as it needed to get a second season, which is really unfortunate because it definitely deserves one. It's a great show. It has amazing animation and really fantastic, likable characters. It just didn't do enough to get a lot of mainstream attention. And my favorite character from Drifters was always Yoichi here. He is really attractive, and if you like ever followed me on Facebook, you might remember back when I was watching this series, I was simping hard for him. Um, in certain posts, like I would make posts as I was watching and everything. Like there's this one scene where he's like getting drunk, and he like kind of sits down and his top slides off his shoulder a little bit, and he's like making this like really cute face. And I like made a post on like Facebook saying they're doing this on purpose now, aren't they? Because I was like, it was getting to me, like really very much so. um Again, it's just about like expressions and body language and just the structure of the face and everything. He's just really fucking hot. um yeah. Going to number 8. Pakunoda, another Hunter x Hunter one, who is not seen as one of the conventionally attractive characters. Um, and I've seen a little more love for Pakunoda than other characters on this list, but the reason she's so high is because I've also seen people speak out against her. Like, I have actively seen people call her ugly, be- mostly because of her nose. And it honestly irritates the shit out of me whenever anyone does that. It's so rude. It's so. And I know it's a fictional character, but still, it's so rude. And people who are reading that who might also have a larger, more prominent nose could be really, really hurt by something like that. And I don't think in any way that's a disqualifier in the first place. People with noses like that can be very attractive still. And Pakunoda is extremely attractive. Again, for kind of the same reasons as I've been talking about. It's just her mannerisms, her expressions, and everything. But also, I think even with the nose, she's really physically attractive. I think she's hot. And she has this almost self confidence to her that kind of flaunts that. And I love it. um, so yeah, I've never understood why there were people who do hate on her. So moving on though, we go to number 7, Dakota from the Rockcocks. So this one is another one that is just kind of off the radar for most people because the Rockcocks is a adult oriented webcomic. As such, a lot of people may not have heard of it. Um, so that's one of the main reasons why this is um, an unconventional choice. But another reason is because other characters with the fans of the webcomic I've seen, everyone always talks about other characters being super attractive. Mostly the female characters like Soraya, Coral, etc., etc. But even Steg, the main male character, is often um, seen as more attractive. Dakota does have some dedicated followers, but is often left behind. And it's really sad because, in my opinion, he is the most attractive member of the characters for this webcomic. Um, and I feel like there's some people who also might hate on him because he's trans, and those people can fuck right off. But I think he's really freaking cute. He's really attractive, really hot, really cute. And I think that I just really like him. Like as a character too. And I really just feel the need to like violently and mindlessly defend him. Um even though people aren't like expressly hating on him specifically, they're just not giving him the love he deserves. So yeah, number 6 though is Luffy from One Piece. Again, there are people who think that Luffy is attractive. There are, but he is completely drowned out by the love that characters like Nami and Robin get. Hell, even characters like Khalifa from Cypher Pole number 9 in the Enies Lobby arc is often viewed as more attractive than Luffy. And that's partially because a lot of the people talking about this in discourse do tend to be uh, a lot of times straight males. Um, so they tend to think about the female characters more often. But that kind of still goes along with the theme here. For me, Luffy is one of the more attractive characters of the series. I'm not even kidding. I think he's really hot, especially in the post time skip and especially in Wano. Um, I just think, like, look, maybe there's certain characters where I am very much attracted to like muscular structures on, and Luffy's one of them. Like, seeing maybe it's because I've followed his journey since the beginning and everything, and I've seen how he's grown and everything, including physically, and it's just seeing the muscles on him in Wano like that really did something for me. And I do think he just has a genuinely cute like face and everything as well, and expressions and everything, and even personality and whatnot. Like you could definitely see just you could definitely see how cute he is. I'm sure. But again, he's just not given the attention as much as other characters, especially a lot of the female characters, because of the way Oda tends to draw them, with the big tits and whatnot. Um, but I very much wanted to include him on this list because he very much, in my eyes, deserves to be mentioned here. But now we go into the top 5 with number 5, Hypnos from Hades. Hades is a game that gets a lot of attention for its character design, and a lot of the viewership, viewership, that's the wrong word since it's a game, a lot of the players tend to completely ignore Hypnos from what I've seen. When they talk about the attractive characters of Hades, they talk about everyone else. Nyx is a really popular one. Zagreus, the main character, is actually a really popular one. But they talk about every other character practically, except Hypnos. And even in gameplay and stuff, no one ever really gives Hypnos a lot of attention. Like, everyone always talks about and fawns over the other characters, and Hypnos is just kind of there for everyone. And it's really disappointing because Hypnos is my favorite character in Hades. I love his personality. He's really fucking funny. And like every time you die, no matter how angry you are at dying, when you come into the house of Hades and hear his little quips and stuff, it cheers you up. It brightens your mood. Um, Not to mention, it's like he is really cute. Like he is really cute. Like all the designs pretty much in Hades like have a certain attractiveness to them, and all of them are definitely attractive to someone. Um, that's definitely a big thing I feel the character designers and all were going for because it is Greek mythology, and let's be honest, Greek mythology is super fucking horny. Let's be honest, it's also super fucking queer, and there are a lot of queer fans of this game. In fact, I'd say probably a good majority of the fans of this game are queer. Um, because of how queer the game is too. Like the game is very unashamedly queer. um, and it's just like I love that about the game, and I love that the characters were designed to have that there were our characters who would be attractive to anyone. Um, in that regard. And this sleepy little twink here is just super fucking cute to me. Like, he is the pinnacle of attractiveness to me in this game. So, number 4 is Princess Bean from Disenchantment. While I've only still seen the first season of this, and I definitely still want to see more, but just haven't gotten around to it, and I'm not sure if I'm going to react to any more or not. Um, I thought right off the bat, the instant I started watching this series, I thought Bean was extremely pretty. Like, and again, it's an unconventional one because of her looks, because she has the large front teeth, um, because she often makes these goofy ass faces, like as you see here. But I think she's just really fucking pretty. Like, I genuinely do. I think her face, her teeth, everything is really fucking pretty. Like, I don't know like what the actual intention Matt Groening and the others who made and designed her had. Like, I don't know if they wanted her to be seen as unattractive or whatnot. But if they did, they failed, at least for me. Because, again, to me, she's just really attractive. Um, but then we get into the top three. And these are ones that I really do want to talk about. So, number 3 is Adrian Seidelman, also known as Cyber 6, from Cyber 6. This is another one where the series itself is very just underrated because not a lot of people even know it exists. Cyber 6 is a comic that also inspired a short uh, cartoon that I reacted to on this channel, actually. And it's fantastic, honestly. It's very underrated, and I really do like it. And Adrian, or Cyber 6, whatever you want to call them, is super attractive to me, no matter what look they're sporting. For those who don't know, which might be a lot of people, um, Adrian slash Cyber 6 is a genetic experiment who is. You can either see them as gender fluid or as a cross dressing female. I tend to see them as gender fluid because I truly do believe that the Adrian Seidelman side to them is genuinely part of who they are. And considering from what I've heard that the actual comic is very queer friendly, that might be the case. Um, but basically, when in Adrian Seidelman, when dressed and acting as Adrian Seidelman, they go by he him pronouns, acting as a male teacher for high school. But as Cyber 6, they often go by she her pronouns, acting as this vigilante superhero of sorts. And so I tend to just in when talking about them in general, you tend to use they them pronouns just to discuss the character as a whole. I think they're really attractive. Like, again, no matter which like what personality they're inhabiting at that time, it's not that's the wrong way to put it. They don't have dissociative identity disorder. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying here. Though if they did, there would be nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying they don't. I worded it to make it sound like it did. They did. No, it's more like just it's a disguise. They're a superhero. It's an alter ego. But when as Adrian Seidelman, the facial features are almost kind of drawn different, but you can very much still tell they're the same character. Like the eyebrows and eyes and all of that are the same, but the features tend to look a little sharper and everything. Um, and they're drawn slightly differently. Like you can see right here. That's why I put these images of them together so you could compare and contrast of them in a few different looks. Um, and either way, again, no matter what look they're going for at the time, I think they're really fucking pretty, really attractive, really just hot, honestly. Um, and there's a lot of reasons to love this series, but I really do like the main character, so that's definitely a big plus for a series. um, so we get into our top two, and the runner up for me in this list is Shin from Dorohedoro. This is another series that didn't get as much attention as it really should have, and that's because it was put onto Netflix. Netflix anime often get shafted in terms of attention. It's very rare when Netflix anime actually gets a lot of like mainstream focus. In fact, the only one I can think of off the top of my head is the currently airing JoJo Stone Ocean. And that's only because it's a JoJo series and people are more actively wanting to see it on Netflix. Other shows tend to get very little audience compared to what they could have because of being on Netflix. Shows like Carol and Tuesday suffered because of this. Shows like Great Pretender and shows like Dorohedoro. Um, and Dorohedoro is a character where the fans that do talk about it, who are very vocal, like the fans that do like this series are very vocal about it. And the characters who are often viewed as being the attractive ones in this, who are often talked about with that, are Nikaido to a lesser degree, but mostly Noe, who is Shin's partner, actually. Noe is this big, buff, white haired girl who is really hot, but she is she's very notably hot. Everyone agrees she's hot. And that's all. And she's the one who most people talk about. Even Nikaido, who is Kaiman's partner, who is this blonde, muscular girl, often gets the shaft because Noe is viewed as more attractive. But Shin is very much never given the attention he deserves. Like, people like his character, but no one ever talks about him as being attractive. But he really is. Like, he's super handsome, super cute. He has this cute, almost boyish face, this really soft face that really works for him. Um, but when he goes like very serious or like excited to like cause mayhem or whatever, like you could when his face like changes to that of like this kind of chaotic excitement, it's really cool as well. I like his design, his general design, like his hair, his style, and everything. How it offsets the rest of his face and everything. Just his expressions, personality, and all as well. I think he's really attractive. Not much else to say with it. And so that brings us to our number one, the number one unconventional character that I find attractive. And number one would be Jinbei, another One Piece character, yes. This one might actually surprise some people because I don't think I've ever heard a single person say Jinbei is attractive. I don't think I have. I mean, there might be people who do. In fact, I'd say there probably are. But I have never heard a single person ever say Jinbei is attractive. People don't tend to think about him that way. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of his fishman features, which, if that's it, that's kind of racist. I don't know if it's because of his size or whatnot, or I don't know. But it's always bothered me that, like, he's never even considered, like, that the fact that I've heard, again, no one even bring him up. Like, male characters are brought up plenty. Sanji, Zoro, especially. People are really horny for Zoro, which I don't even get. Like that one, I don't fully even side with myself. And I know it's all subjective. Everyone's tastes are different and all, but still, it just makes me sad because I think Jinbei is really attractive. he has this almost kind of mature attractiveness to him with the gray in his hair and everything. And I don't know. I think he's really handsome and really hot. I don't know. His size doesn't bother me at all. Like I have nothing against larger people in that regard. Um, there's a lot of larger people I find very attractive, and I mean, forget it with like anything else. Like his fishman features don't bother me at all because they shouldn't, and they don't. Why would they? I just think like just the general design that Oda went with, this specific like shape of everything with him, like his sideburns and eyebrows, for example. The expressions he makes, especially when he laughs. Like the scene that this screenshot is from, like he's talking to Robin and everything, like when they were dealing with Big Mom in Wano, and he lets out this laugh, and it's just like every time he laughs, I he's really cute. He's really cute when he laughs. He has a nice laugh. But yeah, I acknowledge that it is a very actually unconventional choice, because I acknowledge that a lot of people, in fact, again, no one I've seen considers him part of that group of One Piece characters who are attractive. So, unfortunately, he is an unconventional choice, but he's my number one for this list because no one ever mentions him or brings him up, and because I do very much find him attractive. So, that is my list. There are others who could have been on this list. Some people might be surprised that Kobayashi from Dragon Maid wasn't on here, but there are a good dedicated group of people who do acknowledge Kobayashi's attractiveness. I just felt like she would barely be off this list. She was one I basically had to bump for other characters to be on it. She is very much still acknowledged as attractive, even if she doesn't get as much attention as Toru or Lukua. Um, but a lot of the characters on this list are often just completely overshadowed by other characters from their respective media, or are just not conventionally seen as attractive. And it's sad to me. And again, this is all subjective. Tastes in who you're attracted to is very subjective. Who you find attractive, it's all on a person by person basis. So take this just as my personal list. If you have any characters in media who you find attractive who are not often seen as such, please let me know down in the comments below. Who are some of your choices for unconventionally attractive characters for you? um, and what are your thoughts on my list and my choices? Let me know down below, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.